Gotta fix that lighting there. Hey everyone, can you give me a quick thumbs up if you can, or a quick hello on the comments if you can hear me? Sorry about this bad backlighting there. Okay, we're gonna have to go with that then for now. You guys all right? Can you give me a quick hello or something in the comments so I know that you can hear me okay, and we will get going. Okay, awesome. Welcome everyone, thanks for joining me. I haven't done one of these live streams in a while, but this is indeed Clay's Canucks Commentary Live. Usually I do these videos either before or after a game from the comforts of my own car. But today I thought, I have some time this afternoon before I have to go to another work event, hence the shirt and tie. So I thought I would jump on here for maybe about 45 minutes or so to an hour, depending on how we do. And just to talk about the Canucks season. So once again, welcome. My name is Clay Emo. I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. You might recognize this as the intro that I do for every one of my videos. And I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. And yes, I usually do daily videos, usually at the start of the day, but today I want to do one given that it's the end of the season, and to say also thank you to all of you for watching these videos, whether you've watched one or whether you watch all of them. God bless you. I apologize for the time of your life that you're never going to get back. So let's talk quickly about this game, and then we can talk about the season overall and look ahead to free agency, look ahead to the draft, of course, here in Vancouver, and so on and so forth. Tonight's game, 3-2 loss against St. Louis. Canucks played very well considering that they really have nothing to play for. Sure, a lot of people are playing for jobs, but St. Louis, obviously, they're in the midst of a race with Winnipeg, with Nashville for the Central Division title. Of course, you win your division, you get a better matchup in the first round. They'll play one of the two wildcard teams, either Dallas or Colorado, as opposed to finishing second or third and then playing one of the other teams from the Central Division. Of course, you finish second over third, you get home ice advantage for that matchup as well. So lots at stake for St. Louis, and they played very well. However, Vancouver matched them. It was a very tough game. I thought Thatcher Demko played very well, and I thought overall the Canucks played very well. They bend but don't break sort of thing. Demko made 34 saves. Would like for him to do better in the shootout. Granted, he hasn't had a lot of practice in the shootout. I think he's only had one or two of them, whereas Markstrom has taken all of them almost this season. So I thought Demko played a really good game, especially in the third and overtime when the Canucks were holding on there, and especially that power play in overtime. Of course, we saw Elias Petterson rip a shot past Jordan Binnington in a battle of Calder Trophy nominees. We can get into that. So it's nice to see that. Great to see Tanner Pearson score another goal. You guys, he has 9 goals in 19 games. You extrapolate that over an 82-game season, assuming full health. That's a 38-goal season. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's saying that Tanner Pearson is a 38-goal scorer, but perhaps he is. They found one of the two wingers they need for Bo Horvat. Obviously, the Canucks need to get another winger in free agency. It doesn't look like Berchi, Virtanen, Godobin, any of those guys are going to be that guy, but we can talk about that as well. Quinn Hughes, 21 minutes and 42 seconds of ice time, almost 22 minutes. Of course, bolstered a bit by that overtime. The overtime shift. Another amazing shift by those three. I love the way their edge work, the way they control the puck, the way they dangle, the way they pass, the way they skate. We'd love for them to get a couple more shots off instead of trying to be too cute, but that'll come. We've only seen that 3 or 4 times now, so that will be a treat next year as well. So Quinn Hughes played very well, like I said, 22 minutes. Rafferty, okay. Horvat, okay. Boeser, pretty good. Overall, I thought the Canucks were fine, especially for our last game of the season. But we have so much to talk about. And just so you know, Petterson finishes the year with 66 points, Horvat 61, Boeser 56. Of course, Boeser played a lot less because of injuries. So those are big 3. You had Quinn Hughes. You can call it the core 4. Someone else on Twitter called it the quad core, which I get is a little, reference to computer technology. But yeah, that's enough. I want to talk to you guys for this. So I'm going to try my best to read. I'm looking at my phone here, but I'm reading my Mac here, and I got my laptop here. So if you see my eyes darting all over the place, that's because, and I'm sorry about that backlight over my back right corner, on my back right shoulder there. But most of all, I appreciate you guys being here. And yeah, I'd love to answer my question. I'll try and answer all of your questions as long as I can keep up. And yeah, we'll just kind of go. I'm going to open up the chat box now. Sorry, I know this isn't the best TV, me looking there and me looking here, me looking there, but we'll do our best. My dog Mickey is there, kind of hanging out on the couch. Hey, Mickey. Okay, he doesn't care, but that's fine. And then, yeah, it's just me home alone right now before I go to a work dinner. All right, let's see what we got here. And I see 25 of you on here. While you're waiting for me to start answering questions, why don't you, if you want, I'm not going to pander, but if you want to hit that thumbs up button so we get this video a like and we get it kind of spread, once I post it, once we're done. So if you want to hit that thumbs up button, I certainly wouldn't complain. If you want to hit that like button if you want, and then subscribe to this channel. Oh, it went from 2 to 6. Thanks, guys. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. I appreciate it. I am going to be doing daily videos on the off season. Whether it's about the Vancouver Canucks, whether about other playoff teams, draft previews. Not my cup of tea, admittedly. There's other guys that do really good draft previews, but I think where my strength comes in is I'm a season ticket holder. I have a couple connections, not massive connections within the team, but a couple connections within the team. And simply by going to games and understanding the game, never played it to a high level, but understanding the game, being a season ticket holder for 9 years now, I think I have a good sense of the team. I have a good sense of hockey. And I try and make sense, as you guys know, of the rumors. I try not to get into this whole, into a lot of negativity. Heck, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, which you are all members. There's no membership fee. There's no pre-screening. So if you think you're good looking and if you think you're positive, then heck, you're a member of the GLCPC. Okay, let's get going. Arjun, hello, hello. Christopher, hello, hi. Dean, question mark. Maybe that's because I wasn't on yet. Hi, Dean. Random videos, Roy Petey. Yes, Roy Petey. Carmen, hello, hello. Dexter, thumbs up. Thank you, Dean. Hello. Justin, I'm sure that means yes. Not Justin Wee is his last name. White Ninja, hi. Calderson, baby. So Carmen, I agree with you. Let's talk about that real quick. We know that Petterson had a wonderful start to the season, 10 goals in 10 games. He was on fire October, November, December, a 5-point game against Colorado. And then he goes into the All-Star break in San Jose. As you guys know, I got to meet Petterson in San Jose. That was pretty cool. And then things really shut down for him afterwards, whether he got tired, whether it was a long season, whether it was opposing forwards and top D pairings checking him. We know that he slowed down a little bit. Still, he finishes this season with 66 points in 71 games, just under a point per game, point per game pace. He had those 2 injuries, the concussion from Matheson, the knee injury from Kotkaniemi. I shouldn't talk so fast. But yeah, so 66 points in 71 games, that should be enough. Rasmus Dahlin, decent season. Miro Heiskanen, decent season. And of course, Jordan Bennington, the goalie we saw today. Bennington has been good. He's played 32 games. I think 26 of them are wins. His goals against under 2, save percentage about 920. But I said in my video earlier today, if you saw it, I think that body of work is still too small. If Bennington played 2/3 of the season or 3/4 of the season, then maybe it's a very close race. But the fact that he only played 1/2 of the season, I think you still give it to Petterson. And even if the roles were reversed, if this was a Canucks goalie that we were talking about that only played half the season versus a St. Louis forward who played the entire season, who started really well, maybe slowed down a little bit, I still think you give it to the forward. So I still think Petterson wins the Calder. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment box. Can we get a certified Clays commentary Calder confirmation for PD? Oh, I didn't even see that. So there you go, Clement. There was your certified confirmation. Bank on it. Petterson for the Calder. Carmen, let's sign Panarin. Yeah, we can talk about that. A lot of free agents out there. Panarin is one of the top names out there. And if you're looking for a winger or for Bo Horvat, that can be one of the guys, obviously. So we can talk about that a little bit later. But leave a comment below. You tell me if you want to see Panarin here, and if you think the Canucks have a chance to get him here. Ha ha ha, sandwich. I'm not sure what that means, Clement. You have to tell me what that means. We should sign Panarin. Another Panarin. Okay, so that's 2 votes for Panarin already. We have clinched 9th last in the league. We have 5% chance of first overall, 50 combinations. Thank you, Arjun. So I was talking, playing poker with some guys, my buddies yesterday, and we were talking about how the Canucks have done in the lottery. Obviously not that well. 3 years ago in the in the Ole Julevi year, they dropped from 3 to 5. 2 years ago, in the Petterson year, they dropped from 2nd to 5th. I think that worked out for us, as you can tell. And then last year, even with Quinn Hughes, I think they dropped 2 spots from 5 to 7. So if you look at Hughes and Petterson, you could say those are home runs, or there will be home runs, especially the way Hughes is playing. Jury's still out near Levy. Yes, I get the fact that, our mouth waters when we think we could have had a line of Petterson, Boeser, and Tkachuk. But hey, the jury's still out on Levy. I'd love to see what he does next year, healthy and motivated, and we shall see. But yes, the Canucks have not done well in the past 3 years of the lottery, dropping from 3rd to 5th, 2nd to 5th, and 5th to 7th. Maybe this is the year they move up from 9th. Obviously, they can't go to 4, 5, 6, or 7, or 8. They can only go 1st, 2nd, or 3rd if they win one of those 3 spots, or stay at 9, or drop down 10, 11, 12 if 3 other teams win the lottery. So those are the 7 combinations for the Canucks this year. 1st, 2nd, or 3rd overall would be amazing. 9th, as they are now, or if they drop 10th, 11th, or 12th. The question is Hughes or Kakko? Yes, that is going to be the question You know, there's a lot of rumors, or I think there's a lot of thought that because the draft is here in Vancouver on June 21 and June 22. June 22 is my birthday, by the way. Wouldn't that be a cool 45th birthday for me if the Canucks won the draft lottery and went number 1, or even went number 1 or 2? You don't want to wish they go number 2, so then the decision is made for them. As much as Kako has, risen in the draft rankings, given everything else, I would be hard pressed to see the Canucks, if they won first overall, I wouldn't see them not taking Jack Hughes just for all the story, all the marketing that can come from the Hughes brothers playing together. And maybe it means that Quinn Hughes, or both Quinn and Jack, end up staying long-term more because they are together. Maybe they're like the Sedins and they play their entire season here. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but if the Canucks won the draft lottery, Kako or Hughes, I know Kako, like I said, they're different players. Kako, like a Patrick Laine, Finnish, sniper, so to speak. We've seen what Jack Hughes can do, more of a shifty, player, very skilled, both obviously very, very good. Both could help change the franchise. But I just have a feeling that if the Canucks win the draft lottery, it'll be very hard to pass over Jack Hughes, given that Quinn Hughes is here as well. Tell me what you think. Petterson fits nicely. I agree with you. Forever Australian. Carmen, Justin V, you're a Bruins fan, aren't you? You're such a fan. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. You guys figure that out. White Ninja laughing. Carmen, or you meant that Bruins should sign Panarin. Okay, that's good. You guys know each other already. That's good. Brock Boeser, Jet Wu got hurt. Oh, I didn't know that. Boeser, let me know about that, about Wu's injury. I'm sure I'll read about it later. Carmen, what a cute dog. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, we're very blessed to have him. We've had him since August now. And yeah, Mickey's good. You're good, right, Mickey? He doesn't care. He's just sleeping there. Okay. Who do you think we'll draft in the top 10? Hamza, let's move to the draft in a few minutes. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, we'll talk about drafting in a second. We'll kind of do it like we'll wrap up the season first, this game and the season, and then we can talk about free agency and we can talk about draft picks going forward. So let's go like that. It depends where we end up. Yes, Clement, how many years and what values for Schenn, Edler, and Boeser? Great question, Clement. With Boeser, I've made a couple of videos about it. The fact that I think he finished the season really well. To have 56 points in an injury-riddled season, I think he's going to make more than Horvat, obviously. Horvat makes 5.5 over 6 years. Eriksson makes $6 million for the next 3 years, for better, for worse, mostly for worse. I see Boeser getting somewhere between 6 and 6.5 million. Maybe a bit higher, maybe in the mid, maybe 6.3, 6.4, all the way up to 6.7 for 5 or 6 years. If I had to put a number down right now, I'm going to say 6.5 million for 6 years. Would love what you guys think. Am I too high? Am I too low? Am I off my rocker? But I did a bunch of comparables, about a month ago for one of my vlogs. I looked at guys, Boston got a steal on Pasternak. I think you guys know that. But I looked at some other contracts for guys his age, his production, his draft, whatever it may be. And my gut feeling is it's going to be 6 or 7 years. Let's say 6 years at 6.5. So a full full million more than Horvat per year. But tell me what you think. Leave a comment. I'd love to see what you guys think. Let's keep going. For Edler, I think the sticking point is going to be 2 years versus 3 years. I think the Canucks hold all the leverage here when you think about it. And have they seen enough about Quinn Hughes where they think he can be #1 defenseman already? That might be a bit of a stretch in the first year, but he's shown that he's pretty exciting. Quinn Hughes almost had the same power play time as Edler, only 25 seconds less. So maybe Quinn Hughes' good play gives the Canucks even more leverage. And if they know Alex Edler does not want to go, you think the Canucks have all the leverage. So 2 versus 3 years, I'm okay with 3 years if it's a lower number, obviously. If it's 2 years, it'll have to be a bit of a higher number. I don't know. What do you think? 2 years do you think he comes for less than $5 million? Can you go 4.5 or 4? Maybe not. Maybe it's a $5 million signing per year, but the Canucks have that cap hit. I mean, they have that cap room. So leave a comment below about that, Alex Edler. But for Luke Schenn, I think he's a great number 6. Number 7, number 8, preferably. So he's not in your top six, but he has played very well. I'd give him 1 or 2 years max. You don't need to give him anything more than that. You can give him a year at $1 million, $1.5 million, like a show me type contract. And you don't want to spend too much on your bottom 6 pairing, your bottom D pairing, I should say. So yeah, you guys, I'd love to read what you guys think about Boeser, Edler, and Schenn. Great question, Clement, for those contracts. And as I talked about in my video, we have a lot of so the UFAs are Edler and Schenn, but then we have a bunch of RFAs. Up front, it's Boeser, who'll come back. Levo, I think, comes back. And Mott, I think, is 50-50. So Boeser for sure, Levo for sure, Mott 50-50. I think Granlund and Goodobin are as good as gone. So that's up front. Behind, you have Chris Tanev. No, he's not. He's injured. He's not anything. The UFAs right now are Edler and Shen. The RFAs are the two college guys, Rafferty and Tevez. I'm sure we'll sign them to contracts to play them in Utica. Then you have Derek Pouliot. I think he's gone. And then you have Ben Hutton. I think the Canucks extend him, but maybe only 2 or 3 years. And then you have Thatcher Demko in net, also an RFA, who I'm sure will sign as well. So that's about 9 or 10 RFAs and 2 UFAs. The Canucks have a lot to do this offseason. We'll talk about the draft in a second. Who should represent the Canucks at the draft lottery? It doesn't matter what we think because we know that Jim Benning is indeed going. So maybe that's a change of luck from Trevor Linden in previous years. Well, there's my NHL All-Star Game Cup that I got in San Jose and my Pepsi, of course. Todd Bertuzzi, yeah, going to represent the Canucks. That'd be good. Do you always get the same seats when you buy your season tickets? Good question, Dean. You have a choice as a season ticket holder where you can sit. And even for me as a 9-year season ticket holder, every year we have the choice to move seats if we'd like to. We haven't for the past 4 seasons. We love our seats. Our seats are quite cheap, actually. They're about $50 per ticket. You know, that's about a 30% discount. And we are in the offensive zone for the Canucks. If you've seen my footage, I'm usually in the top corner above the opposing goalie's left shoulder, but a really, really good view. And you move one section over just across the aisle, and then that ticket price goes up by about $20. So if you follow my thinking, I'm basically as far to the middle as you can in the price range that I'm at. So it makes it easy for it to give away, doesn't kill me, makes it easy to sell to friends, and I don't have to rip them off. You know, I can sell them for a decent price and not worry about losing money. So yeah, very happy with my seats in section 319. Being a season ticket holder since 2010, 2011. Great year to come in, but very painful year to come in as well. Yes, it's going to be Benning. I would like Byram or Caulfield as a steal. Yeah, we can talk about that in a second. Yes, I agree, Clay. Bennington has a small sample size. Yeah, Carmen, I think if it was, like I said, 2/3 or 3/4, then we have a much tougher decision to make. Offseason Canucks should trade guys like Goudobin, Pouliot, and Eriksson because they aren't really that good and haven't been in the lineup. So that's the tricky thing, right? In a perfect world, you want to be able to trade your guys to get assets. But is anyone going to offer us anything for Goudobin? Is anyone going to offer us anything for Granlund? Especially when they know that they are RFAs already, right? If they know that the Canucks, an opposing team might think, oh, we'll just take our chances. If the Canucks are going to just let them go and not offer them a qualifying offer, then those RFAs are free to walk. And then another team can pick those guys up for free, right? So I think the time to trade those guys would have been back at the trade deadline for anything. Now, that's not to say that the Canucks can't make a deal for those guys and get draft picks or roster players, but I don't think we should expect too much when it comes to those players. Otherwise, they'd be playing for us right now. Well, Granlund was, but Goudobin hasn't been. There's no way that Elias loses this. I agree with you, Justin Clement, Pound, Breadman, Christopher. Can we sign Erik Karlsson? Yeah, you know, at first I didn't want the Canucks to go after Erik Karlsson, but as I hear more and more that maybe he's not going to re-sign in San Jose, that would be a home run. The Canucks have the money. Can you imagine putting Karlsson on our blue line and then having a blue line of Karlsson? I don't know if you need other than. You have Karlsson, you have Hughes, then you have Stetcher, Hutton, Tanev, and maybe a Luke Shen as a number 6, or you have your Levy in there. So, you know, that makes it really interesting. Obviously, he makes your D a lot better. What do you guys think? Do you want the Canucks to go after Erik Karlsson, or do you think he's overrated or will be overpaid? But maybe that's what you have to do with free agents of his magnitude. I heard a lot of people say anytime someone that good comes out, you have to at least make a pitch. Bettman owns the Seneca, maybe Myers, maybe Ferland. Yeah, you know, Justin, I'd go after Ferland before I go after Myers. I liked Myers before, but I think he's a little old. He's a little. I just have a feeling if we sign Tyler Myers, the Canucks fans would turn on him in half a season. It's just a gut feeling I have. Michael Ferland, you know, we ran roughshod over us 3 years ago in the playoffs, 4 years ago in the playoffs in 2015. So I wouldn't mind the Canucks taking a run at Ferland, but I think he is a bit injury prone, but that's not to say we shouldn't go after him. Now we know that we can't end up in the 5th. That's a good point, Carmen. You know, 2 of the last 3 years we've been in 5th, but we can't get, it's physically impossible for us to get 5th this year. Levy will surprise. Justin, I hope that you are right. I'm aiming for that too. Curse 5, we got Pete and Levy. Brian, hi, hello. Dean, if the Canucks don't win the lottery, who do you think they'll take? Okay, I'm going to save the draft. Dean, I'm going to save the draft conversation until we run out of questions, but we will get to that, I promise. Let's get Panarin. So that's 3 votes for Panarin. Zegras, I think, yeah, he's one of the guys we can talk about. If we get 9th overall, we could draft a guy like Cole Caulfield, which isn't bad. Yeah, that's the second guy who's talking about Cole Caulfield. We'll talk about him. Clement, what concept-themed logos do you want to see out of our new jerseys? Clement, what I hear, and I think many people have read that they might be removing the Vancouver, because you look at a lot of logos, a lot of teams, they don't have actually the name of their city on their logo. So maybe they removed the logo. There's rumors that obviously we're going to get the spaghetti skate for the alternate or for select nights, I should say, for the 50th anniversary. They're going to get a new 3rd jersey, and there's rumors that they're going to switch their actual jerseys up. I've heard and I've read maybe it's back to stick and rink. Maybe it's a Johnny Canuck type thing. So I'd be open to all those things if it happens, but not really too worried about it. I'm interested, but I haven't spent much time thinking about it. But I think anything, it's always a nice to have something new, something fresh, especially with the way the team is rebuilding and the team feels a lot more fresh and a lot different than it did at this time last year. Would love to see a comparison of our roster now and our roster last year at this time. But in essence, next year's a good time to do all those changes with the 50th anniversary. It's going to be a big year for sure. Do you think Levo is staying? Did he earn a spot on the team? Absolutely, yes. Josh Levo, been impressed with his hands, with his, he's got a good size, and he scores all his goals, kind of like Petterson, from the face-off dots down, right towards the net. And I think we need more of those guys. I wouldn't put him on the top line. Second line, he's been okay with Boeser and Petterson, create space for them, but I'm not sure if he's a permanent solution there. But I think Josh Levo will certainly be a good 3rd liner, and I think he's been a wonderful acquisition, just as good as Petterson was for Gabranson. That Levo for Carsoni trade back in December being excellent for the Canucks. So I definitely think Josh Levo is staying. I saw on Instagram someone said he had a nagging injury. I presume you're talking about Jet Wu. Justin, Levo stay. Yes, I agree. Dean, thoughts on trading Markstrom or Demko, their pick, and Horvat for number 1? Wow. Markstrom or Demko, their 9th pick, and Horvat for number 1. I don't know. I wouldn't. Ugh, gosh, that's tough to say. Maybe it's because I'm so biased and I like Bo Horvat so much. I don't know if I would do that, because you're still going to get a good player for number 9. Horvat, you have a first or second, maybe Petterson's your first. You have a bona fide second line center and likely your future captain, and then you're trading away your goalie depth already. I don't know, Dean. I don't think I'd do it, but I could be convinced. But I think the more interesting question with Markstrom, have 1 more year on his contract after this, and you have Demko as a RFA. He needs an extension. I've always talked about in my vlogs that I know from people that inside the team that, as they predict great things for Demko. They've been talking about Demko in Luongo type terms to have that type of impact on our roster. So maybe we saw a bit of it tonight, that he can be good. Got to work on his shootouts a little bit, but I'm not complaining. So yeah, I think the bigger, instead of talking about trading for number 1, I think, are they going to set up? Could they get a lot for either Markstrom or Demko on the trade market next year? That's something to really think about, especially if the Canucks do not re-sign Markstrom this summer, and they don't need to. He's got 1 year left on his contract. They could move him at the trade deadline for a big haul, especially if Demko is playing well next year. But we have a lot of time to talk about that. What do you think Ben Hutton's future will be? Luca, I think they still sign Hutton for another short term. They're not going to give him a big, long one. But he's showed some improvements. This year, I would give him 2 or 3 years at not too much, whatever that is. Yeah, a couple million, maybe 3. No, that's too low. Maybe it's gonna be 3, 3.5. But I don't think he's certainly gonna be in the 4.5, 5, 5.5 range. But that's just my gut feeling. Horvat, you're kidding, dude. Yeah, White Ninja, I agree with you. I wouldn't put him in there. Do you think Sutter will be gone? Sutter's an interesting one. He's like the forgotten man, right? Gaudette hasn't been spectacular, but he's been good enough. And I've always said that Sutter and Beagle are kind of carbon copy, right? They're redundant if you have both of them. So I think the Canucks have an opportunity to move him. I really think they do. The other thing I've thought about, though, too, is it's nice to have depth at center, and you can have 5 centers because it takes one of them to get injured, and then you have an extra guy. Could you move Gaudette to the wing? That's another thing that we can talk about or we can consider. Do I think Sutter will be gone? No, I don't, but I think the Canucks should certainly explore it for sure. Because we saw, I think you'd agree, we don't need Sutter and Beagle in the lineup at the exact same time. Who's going to win the annual golfing tourney? General Jesse, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Canucks one in September or just overall. Maybe you can get back to me. Yeah, Horvat, 50, 60-point player. This is Jack Hughes we're talking about. So Dean, you can, maybe I'll get to it in the comments. I just kind of read them in order, so maybe you can expand on that later. Canucks, F-A, hello. Boeser, half of it want Ether to leave and the other half wants him to stay. Well, that would make sense. I think that's a perfect analogy for our fan base. I'm sure half of the people want him to stay and to mentor Hughes and to be a solidifying force, because he's still a good player, as much as you think he's taking away minutes from other guys, and half the people will want him to go. Interesting. Arjun, I say if we get the 3rd overall pick, we draft Bowen Byram, hometown kid, could make our decor the best with Ulevi, Hughes, Wu, and Byram. Yeah, Arjun, I'm going to get to drafting for sure. I think 3 is a little high for Byram, but maybe not. You know, I've seen him projected as high as 4 or 5, maybe not 3, but he could fill a need for us if we do win that 3rd lottery spot. We'll get back to that. No way Canucks should give away a Horvat like that. I agree. Brock Boeser, question mark. Not sure. I agree they should consider it for Jack. But they should consider, yeah, I think Jim Benning will be open to a lot of things to talk about, but I don't know if he'll actually do it. Holy, there's a lot here. Okay, sorry, this is bad. I'm just going to catch up a little bit. This is good. This is the most questions we've ever had. I guess people are excited or want to talk Canucks, or they just want me to shut up. Okay. What has to change on our PP? You know, the Canucks power play looked good over the last 5 games, actually, and the second power play unit was responsible for about 3 or 4 of those goals. I just think overall, you look at the skill that we have on our team, we just got to be more dynamic and less predictable. Yes, Petterson is good from that right circle. Yes, Boeser is good from that left circle. Yes, you're going to have a power play quarterback that can feed those guys, but at the same time, you know, you don't really use Horvat. You don't use Levo either in front of the net or in the bumper spot in front. I would just like to see more movement and not make it so static. And I think Quinn Hughes can do that. The way he can walk the line, the way he can change angles, even the way Quinn Hughes skates, and you've seen it in overtime too, the way he does his quick turns. If he can draw opposing forwards to them, that opens up his other guys on the power play for more open looks. And just changing angles and changing passing angles and shooting angles, I think is a big thing. I think you'd agree with me, the Canucks power play is too static. You know, Pettersson's going there, Boeser's going there, Horvat and Levo are going over there, and Edler's going to stay up top. So if Hughes gets power play one time and he's able to move the puck, more chances on the rush, entering the zone, not necessarily setting up so statically and changing angles, I think that's what's got to change. But I'd love to hear what you guys think down below. Where do you live? I live in Steveston, Steveston and Railway. Daniel, I know your son, Sean. Oh, cool, Daniel. How do you know him? Are you a Hugh Boyd student, or have you met him through some of his other exploits? Good exploits. Let me know. Leave a comment. I'd love to read what you say. So Daniel Tracy, I'll have to remember that for later. Arjun, I say only trade for 1st overall if we get either 2 or 3, and then the 1st overall selecting is Colorado. Arjun, expand on that. I would say trade for 1st overall if we get... Oh, I see what you're saying. You would only trade up to 1 if we were in 2 or 3 to begin with, because the gap isn't as big. Yeah, that makes sense. Godobin gone. His agent thinks he'll stay. Oh, Justin, that's good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't hear that. The way Jim Benning was talking about in the first intermission on Sportsnet, he didn't give Godobin the most glowing endorsement. Basically, what he said is, when he traded for Godobin, skill guy, want to see how he develops. And then he basically said, we're going to have to figure out if it's still worth putting time and energy into him. That white is kind of annoying. Let's see if I can fix that. Oh, that's worse. That looks like just a big white blob. Hold on a sec. I know this is really good. Oh, that's worse too. If I go like this and I do this. No, that's horrible. Okay, that's the best we're going to do. Who cares? Don't look at that. Just look at me. Just listen to me. All right, Newell Brown. That's yeah, I think that's the question of what has to change in our power play. Who's the fastest skater for next year, for Tanner or Hughes? You know, I'm guessing... It's just a guess. Who knows? I think Virtanen is still got the faster A to B speed, like straight line. But Hughes, obviously, his edge work and his skating, I'd say Hughes is definitely more shifty and more crafty, and probably would beat Virtanen 9 times out of 10 in a puck control or skate around the cones race. But I think if it was straight, you know, end to end, I still put it on Virtanen. But it's close. Like, I think that's a pretty cool question, actually. Pepsi is greater than Coke. Brock Boeser, I agree. I've always liked Pepsi, but I'm not too picky. Virtanen, but Hughes is fast. I agree. Verts, wait, this can't be the real Brock Boeser. Canucks FA, I think you're joking, but no, I think Brock Boeser is still in St. Louis in the locker room doing media. I don't think he's watching my live stream. But if he does, that's cool. I've already talked to Boeser about being in one of my songs going forward, but that's for another day. Okay. I've never been in a Canucks game. Oh, White Ninja. That's too bad. You know, we'll have to get you to one. I don't know if you want to go with me or if we can find you tickets one day, but let's chat one day, White Ninja. We'll get you to a game. The game, you should have gone this year. The tickets are really cheap this year. Come on, that's not Boeser. So gullible. Clay, Brock Boeser in the chat. Brock Boeser's here. Brock Boeser. I've never been a season ticket holder. Yeah, because you're playing. Just kidding. I've never been a season ticket holder, but do you buy tickets for the regular season? If it's only for the regular season, do you get a discount for playoff tickets if they go to playoffs? Do you buy tickets for the regular? No. So I think you're asking, do season ticket holders get discounts for the playoffs? The answer is no. We have our playoff prices, I believe. You know, it's so hard for me to say because we haven't been there in 4 years. Where'd my dog go? Okay. We haven't been in the playoffs in 4 years. So I think what I recall is that, no, we do not get a discount for the playoffs, but we obviously have a guaranteed seat for our playoffs, our regular seats. But I'll get back to you on that, or ask me next year once we're in the playoffs, so we can go from there. Virtanen should play with PD and Boeser for most next season because that line lacks speed and grit, and Virtanen provides puck. Hamza, I agree that Virtanen, in theory, has what that line needs, right? Someone to forecheck, someone to create loose pucks, because once Petterson and Boeser get those loose pucks, they can do great things with them. I like Virtanen a lot. I'm not being convinced of his hockey IQ, though. Can he process and think the game quick enough for a guy like Petterson, who is heads and tails, you know, very good above, you know, almost every other player. He's got such a good hockey IQ. So does Boeser, although, you know, not as fast as Petterson with the decision making. I think you need a really good decision maker working with him, someone who can match them in the hockey IQ department. I'm not sure Virtanen's that guy. I love his skill set, what he can bring when he plays with potential speeds, you know, size, a good shot. Virtanen's got a really good shot once he hits the net, but he simply hasn't put it all together. I'm not at all saying we give up on him. I really like him. I want him to succeed, but I'm not convinced that he's the best player for them, although on paper you think he would be. Let's talk. I want Carson a little more than Panarin. Carson more expensive, I agree. Imagine McDavid asked to get out of Edmonton this season. Yeah, we'll see. So how's the defense going to look? The defense is going to look like this. I think it's Edler, Hughes, Levy, and Hutton battling for that third spot on the left. I think on the right, it is going to be Tanev, Stetcher, and someone else. I think they got to beef up. If they're bringing Alex Edler back, they got to beef up their right side. You know, Pouliot wasn't the answer. Biega's not an answer. Luke Shen could be like a sub, or not a sub. What am I talking about? It's not basketball. Could be like a first call up or insurance policy. But I think the Canucks need to find a right shot defenseman or a defenseman and move one of the guys to the right. I don't know how easy that is. And they need to find another scoring forward. That's what I think the Canucks need to do in free agency. Impossible to get fifth unless we trade up. Yes. I wish Kessler would come back to Vancouver. Kessler sucks now. Do you think we will get the first pick? Well, I'd like to think so, but do I think so? I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Kessler too much here. Shout out to Troy Stetcher. Man deserves a permanent A on his jersey next year. Yeah, Clement, as a Richmond boy, I love Troy Stetcher, and I think he's along with Anton Roussel, one of the unsung heroes of our team this year. I love him, and I think he'll only continue. You can see he leaves his heart out on the ice, gets mad when he screws up. Yeah, I think we need more guys like him. Hey, is Burroughs playing in the NHL anymore? No, he retired to coach last year. Justin, I feel like we need a big right-hand D-man because Tanman is shut down. Yeah, actually, I didn't see that before. I just said I do think, if anything, we need a right-handed defenseman more than a left-handed defenseman. Do you think Quinn Hughes can win the Calder? Yes, I do. I definitely think Quinn Hughes can win the Calder. I'm trying to think of who. Oh, it's so hard to say. Like, all the guys from last year, Petterson's season, may come up next year. Like, guys we haven't seen, like Glass and Middlestat, and those guys play more, you know, than any guys from last year's draft class. Hughes, and then maybe a Jack Hughes or a Capocacco makes it to the NHL. So Hughes will basically have 3 years of guys to compete with, like with any season, right? But I think he's got a good chance to win the Calder, especially if he plays. You know, he had 3 points in his 5 games. That's pretty good. That's extrapolated out to a 50-point season, you know, over 80 games. So that would put him in Calder Trophy discussion, absolutely, for sure, especially as a D-man. Do you like PD on the same line with Virtanen? No, only because of what I just talked about. I don't think Virtanen processes the game fast enough for Petterson, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm being too hard on Vertan. I like Vertan a lot. You guys know that. Those that you watch my videos, you know that I like Vertan a lot, but I'm not sure if he's the right fit for Petterson. This is good. Great question today. What kind of return will Goldie fetch in the offseason? I don't really want a draft pick. Maybe another team's problem, but prefer right-handed shot D-man. That's top 4 potential. Cody Ceci. Yeah, I don't think you're getting Cody Ceci for Godolphin. We didn't do anything to drive up Godolphin's worth, so I don't think we're going to get much of a return, quite frankly. It's tough to say. Canucks FA, no, this is not the real Brock Boeser. Let's be realistic here, although that would be cool. Dexter, what teams do you think have the nicest alternate jerseys? My favorite is Calgary's. Oh, that's a good question, Dexter. I admit I like looking at jerseys, but I don't really track them. I'll have to get back to you, but you guys can talk about the jerseys down below. That's fine. Yeah, but I do like, I hate Calgary. Actually, Calgary is my least favorite team, but I do like their jersey. It is, their alternate jersey is kind of cool, but admittedly, I don't know a lot about the alternate jerseys. Clay. Canucks FA, no, Brock Boeser's not in this chat, so yeah, I'm not going to reference that anymore. What's happening with Tanev? Tanev is hurt. Tanev's always hurt. Good guy, but very fragile. Well, he's injured. The Canucks have no more games, so he won't. Obviously, none of the Canucks will play anymore, but maybe we'll get, when they do their end of season media availability on Monday, we'll learn more about Tanev's most recent injury. No Panarin, so one guy, there's a vote against Panarin. Pearson with Canucks on pace for 38 goals. Yeah, thanks, Samir. I talked about that earlier. 9 goals in 19 games, 38 goals. And he's not going to do that in a full season, but if he can be 25, 30, 35, that's pretty good. Do you like the new era hats? Yeah, I do. I think they're really nice. I'm not a hat guy. I look like I'm 5 years old when I wear a hat, so I probably won't be getting one, but I do like them. They look sharp, and I love what the Canucks are doing marketing-wise with Boeser, Petterson, Horvat in doing those things. Thoughts on the drop pass, Dexter? I don't mind it. You know, I don't hate it as much as people do. I think you guys know almost every team utilizes it to some way, shape, or form. And so the Canucks aren't the only team that's doing it. It just, sometimes they don't do it well, but I've seen a lot of teams mess it up. It's predictable, especially when the guy you're dropping to isn't that creative. You know, that's the difference between Hughes versus Edler, or Petterson versus, you know, a Levo or Granlund bringing it in. So it really makes a difference to the guy you are dropping to. And if the opposing team, the penalty killers, don't think that the guy doing the drop pass is dangerous, they can already cheat and cut off the drop pass, and then the Alex Edlers of the world are forced to bring the puck in on his own. So no, I don't hate it. Like I don't hate it from a standpoint of it's not why the Canucks power play is so bad. Teams across the league use it. I watched many of you know I went to the Vegas Golden Knights Minnesota Wild game last week, and the Vegas Golden Knights did the drop pass entering the zone as well. So I don't hate it, and it goes throughout the season. I've always dreamed to play here, to play in Vancouver, for Vancouver, to live in Vancouver. It's amazing. It's a beautiful state. Passionate fans excited for the future. Awesome. So I haven't been able to see any post-game comments because I'm here with you. Not that I'm complaining. So I'm really glad you put that in there, Clement. That's a good sign that Petterson said that. That's awesome. Kid's a keeper. Godolphin's agent, Igor Larionov. I'm not sure about that. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. Who's Petey's agent? Not sure. Hey, who's the guy or girl behind the Church of Petterson? Clement, I don't know. I don't know who does it actually, but they're certainly building up a big following on Twitter. And I was not at the game where he or she was at the game handing things out, but it looked pretty funny and scary at the same time. This season I got to go to 7 games. Really glad I did. Yeah, I think I permanently. Nice to see you on here. Thanks for coming on. I think I saw you. Oh, no, I think you're working. I saw you about 3 or 4 times at the arena, but I'm really glad that you got to go to 7 games. That's awesome. And a 5-0-2 record. So obviously, Joshua, you need to go to more games. Are you going to the draft this year, Clay? Yes, I am, White Ninja. It's I believe we get dibs as season ticket holders. I haven't got on tickets. I haven't heard the final details, but we're definitely going to go. And the cool thing is, you may have heard me from the top say that it's my birthday on the second day of the draft, June 22nd. So June 21st, I'll be going to the draft. June 22nd, I'll be going to the draft. And in between the 21st and 22nd, I'll be supervising my son Sean's dry grad. Oh, by the way, I want to brag about Sean for a second. because I like bragging about my kids. For those of you who watch my videos, you know that I like to talk about my kids a lot. Sean is my grade 12 son, got accepted into SFU business, UBC business, and he won a scholarship to the University of Toronto, a small entrance scholarship where he's interested in law and humanities. So it's kind of cool that Sean has those options. We're very blessed. He's already a little stressed thinking about where he's going to go for university next year, either stay in town or go out to Toronto. But I told him to be grateful and to thank God and to enjoy that he has options, and I'm very blessed that way. So that's Sean. My middle guy, Jacob, he's bowling in Nanaimo right now at a training camp. I think you guys know he won back-to-back provincial championships. So I'll be traveling with Jacob to Montreal and Edmonton for national bowling championships, which is really cool. For any of you who do 10-pin bowling for fun or competitively or whatever, Jacob's average is 195, which is quite outstanding. And you may have seen, I posted footage of him on my Twitter account before. Okay, back to hockey. Virtanen is going to get traded. Not sure, maybe, I hope not, but you never know. EP40 opened the scoring this season, ended for the, Zubair, that's a great, I never thought about that. Yes, he scored against Calgary, almost from the exact same spot. I don't think it was a power play goal, but almost from the exact same spot from that circle. Very, very cool stat. I want Goody back because we need more people to protect Hughes other than Roussel. No, I think Shen is doing that, and whether Shen is a regular top 6 D-man, though, that's another question. But no, I think the Canucks can play with toughness. They don't have to be the biggest guys, but you can play tough. And, Levo's big, Pearson's gritty, Horvat's tough enough. But yeah, we don't have any, say, fighter. Remember, Roussel will do that. Remember, Roussel's out of the lineup, and he is one of the guys. So between Roussel and Shen, maybe we'd be okay, maybe not. But I'm not too worried about that yet. I totally agree. Jake has improved passing, but his awareness is really low. Yeah, I agree with you, Alan. Oh, yeah, because you're agreeing with me, so I agree with you. Shen is better than Goody. Thank you. Brock Boeser, Clay is better than the hockey guy. Oh, that's very nice of you, Brock Boeser. Thank you for coming in this chat after playing a hard-fought game today. No, in all seriousness, I don't watch all of the hockey guy stuff, but I respect for what he does. He works hard. He's built up his following. His style, not my cup of tea, although I'm kind of like almost the same style. He records from his place, and I record from my car with very little editing. But no, he's good. But I think I like what I do better. Well, it's because I should, because it's what I do. But I appreciate that compliment. Thank you. Yeah, but no, he's good. He knows his stuff, and he works. He's from all accounts, he's a super nice guy as well. And I've heard some people complain that he doesn't respond to all of his comments or people that reach out to him. But I think when you have that volume, when you have that many subscribers and that many comments on the video, it's unrealistic to expect him to comment or reply to everything. So no, I like Shannon. I've never met him, but I like his work, and I think he's doing a really good job. Love the Millionaires jersey. Yeah, that's good. See ya, Clay. Got to go to DT. What does that mean? Downtown? Oh, hey, Justin. Thank you, though. Wherever DT is. The maroon color looked real nice. Yeah, let me know what happens. Sure. I'm actually Brock Boeser. Oh, Strange Online Man's Brock Boeser. That's good. Ketchup Choss, Brock Boeser. Obviously, Canucks have the best goal song this season, Holiday by Green Day. Tim Thomas, I think you're trolling us, but if not, yes, the Canucks use Holiday by Green Day back in the day when they're in the playoffs. Do we re-sign Markey next year? Samir, great question. I heard Jim Benning at the first intermission was talking about the fact that they're going to enter into talks already this summer about extending Markstrom. So maybe they're not going to let it go too long. Maybe they want to try and lock him up, extend him already this summer, so Markstrom doesn't have to worry about being a lame duck or not having a contract next season. But I think it's going to be more exciting when it comes to trade deadline in 2020 if both Markstrom and Demko are playing well and the Canucks could move one of them for assets. I don't think that's going to happen, but you got to think of the expansion draft as well coming up. So there's a lot of ramifications there. Okay, we're going to go 5 more minutes, then we're going to talk about draft for 10 minutes, then we're going to get out of here. All right. Alan, I think we're just tired of the drop pass failing for us. If our drop pass plays were better, then we wouldn't be complaining. Yeah, I think that's fair. Travis, Goldie, if you're reading this, you have one training camp to impress me from Travis Green. Wow, so I had Brock Boeser and Travis Green in this live stream. Thank you guys for joining us, especially after a tough game. Travis, please don't scratch me next season. Lucky Boeser's impressed me this training camp. Okay, Travis, okay, bunch of stuff. As a music guy yourself, are you in favor of bringing back the OG Where the Streets Have No Name intro? Thank you, Clement, for the compliment about being the music guy, or a music guy, not the music guy. There's more music guys. Yeah, I like it. I think it's kind of cool, and I think it'd be a cool throwback next season. I could see the crowd going nuts if you hear that that guitar riff, and then the the towels going. I'm not sure why we'd have towels if there's no playoffs. But yeah, I would say the majority of Canucks fans would like that as opposed to dislike it. So I would be fine with us going back to where the streets have no name. What about you, Clement? You tell me what you think. Congrats to Sean. Thank you, Clement. Not if I'm coach. Congrats. Thanks, Brock. Samir, Clay, I feel like I'm betraying my team. I'm moving to Edmonton to go to the UFA. Well, Samir, that's fine as long as you're not like becoming an Edmonton Oilers fan. Like, come on, you can go away to study, and congratulations. Are you in grade 12 as well, Samir? That's pretty cool that you're going to Edmonton. So good luck with that. Congrats, Sean, but impress your dad at the training camp. That was funny. Hey, I'm from Nanaimo. Do you know where he was bowling? Yeah, Dexter, he was at Splitsville earlier today, but it's I don't know if it's called a closed training camp, but they're not just simply bowling like games. They are doing like drills and target drills and footwork drills and mental drills and video drills and math drills. No, they're not doing math drills. Yeah, but I believe he was at Splitsville in Nanaimo, and I think he'll be there again tomorrow. So if you end up going there, say hi and say, Jake, I know about you because of your dad's YouTube. Actually, I've had Jake on this live stream a couple times, and I've taken him to a couple games, and he's quite funny. He knows nothing about the Vancouver Canucks as opposed to Sean, but he's certainly very entertaining when I get him in these videos. A couple more, and then we're going to talk about drafting, then we're done. Shen has become one of my top 3 favorite Canucks. Rhinoceros, well, that's good. I wouldn't say your standards are low, but if he's your top 3 already, then that's pretty good. I wonder who your other 2 are. But yes, he has brought a heart and soul to the team. Can't complain about Shen at all. Hey, Clay, what do you think about moving up the draft to select Quinn's brother? Obviously, the lottery is coming up next week, so we'll see. Yeah, Alan, actually, I talked about that earlier. I'm going to talk about that in a couple minutes when we get to drafting, so hang tight. Carmen, watch the Oilers win the lottery. Oh, I feel sick now. TJ, where do you expect the Canucks to draft in 2019 realistically? I get to that in a second, TJ, but I'll answer that very quickly now. I expect them to draft 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th. I expect them to either stay status quo or likely drop, right? All it takes is for one team to win a lottery, one of the lottery draws, and the Canucks drop at least one spot, right? So I'm guessing they're not going to stay at 9 because that means no one else wins the lottery. Everyone else stays ahead of them. I'm guessing that if they don't go to top 3, that they're going to fall to 10th or 11th, but we'll see. We'll talk about drafting in like 2 minutes. I keep saying that, but we will, I promise. I'm watching my timer. We're at 47. If we're not talking about draft by 51 or 52, then I have to stop and we'll do it. Clement, best intro of all time. And if you remember another piece called The Conversion of Murray, the flute intro, also great. Hope they bring that. Oh, I have to look that up. Conversion of Murray. Thank you. Carmen, we should give Tyler Madden a shot next year. He's looking good. Yeah, I've heard that he's going to go back to college to play another year. But yeah, thank you. I forgot about him. You know, we talked about the Lynn and the Gadjevich and Dallin when he was here. Forgot about Tyler Madden. That's cool. There's Will Lockwood as well. How is going to get traded this offseason for Vancouver? Maybe that's who. I talked about that a little bit. But I think anyone that the Canucks... Yeah, I think Sutter's potential. Godobin, Granlund, if you can get anything for them, Pouliot. But Godobin, Granlund, Pouliot's of the world, the RFAs of the world, you're not going to get anything for them, I think. I think really you have to look at moving roster players, and maybe Sutter is a candidate for that. McDavid may ask for a trade. Yeah, he seems really frustrated. I agree with you, Carmen. I don't think he's going to ask for a trade, but I know he's frustrated. Hobby, I don't think the Canucks will try to go for Byram when Ulevy has not played a single game. Yeah, I think that's fair. And it really depends, of course, where the Canucks wind up. Ulevy or Hutton. I would love to see Ulevy get a shot. We kind of know what we have in Hutton, which isn't bad, but I want to see Ulevy get a shot. What free agent would you like the Canucks to sign this offseason? And favorite all-time song? Alan, favorite all-time song, do you mean like Canucks song or just all-time song forever? Because there's all-time song forever. I like Boys to Men, Motown Philly. I like Young MC's Bust a Move, and I like a bunch of Christian worship songs. All right, let's talk about free agents, and let's talk about drafts to wind up. Free agent forwards. We know the Panarins. We know that there's, obviously, you got to be like 28, 29 to be a UFA, or 27, I guess. So we've heard names like Wayne Simmons, Jeff Skinner, as Carmen just brought up. Yeah, Jeff Skinner is actually, now that he's through his concussion issues, I think Jeff Skinner is a good find. Of course, there's, like I said, there's Panarin. There's those, the guys that just got traded from Ottawa. There's Duchesne. There's Dzingel. You know, there's a lot of guys out there. And we're going to hear a lot more. Yeah, Panarin would be a big find, but I'm not sure if Vancouver would be high on his radar. But I think, I wouldn't go for Simmons, a little old for me. I think you want to find someone who's in the 27, 28, 29 year range as opposed to obviously 30, 31, 32. But yeah, that Skinner one's actually appealing to me. Ryan Dzingel appeals to me. Duchesne, I think, is going to be too expensive. So there's some options up front. On the blue line, the big ones, the big names we hear are guys like Carlson, Anton Strawman, Tyler Myers, and then, Jake Gardner is getting some love as well, although he's on the left side. So, there's some options on D as well. And then goaltenders, I don't think the Canucks even have to wade in there. So, tough to say. Jim Benning, like I said, he said they want to improve their D and they want to get a top 6 scoring winger. So, yeah, that I would have to give that some more thought. Really, I haven't really thought about that much yet, especially as teams are looking to the playoffs. But Skinner's now that you mentioned it, Carmen, Skinner's a name that does intrigue me. I want to thank. Okay, I'll do this, and then I'll go to drafting real quick, and then we'll finish off. Did anybody see someone grab the puck for Demko's first point? No, I didn't see that. That's cool. Todd Clay, I want to thank you because your YouTube channel has helped me overcome my drug addiction. Seriously, I'm 9 days clean. I've never been happy. Todd, that is awesome, man. Praise God. That's really cool. And if my channel even has a small part in helping you stay healthy and happy, then that's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. I won't joke about the negative impacts that my videos can have on people. I just want to say that's very, very that's very touching. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. TJ Carlson, good friends with PD. Yeah, the whole Swedish connection. Okay, so let's end off by talking about the draft. It sounds like the Canucks are locked into the 9th overall spot, and we know how the draft lottery works. All the teams are seeded. The bottom 15, every non-playoff team, so the 15 non-playoff teams all have a chance, different odds of winning one of 3 draft lotteries. They draw for the first overall, they draw for the second, and they draw for the third. And that's it. And everyone moves accordingly. So if a team above you draws in the top 3, wins one of the 3 lotteries, then you don't move, you stay in your spot. But if a team below you jumps up to one of the top 3 spots, then obviously you move down. So you can't move down more than 3, but you can't move up anywhere that's after 3, if that makes sense. So as I mentioned earlier, the Canucks can only pick up 1 of 7 spots. First overall if they win, second overall if they win the lottery, and third overall. They can't come in 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Then it's 9th if only teams from the top 8 win the lottery, or if they drop 1, 2, 3, 10th, 11th, or 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. If it's a 1, 2, 3, and the Canucks, so let's not even talk about trading up to get to 1, 2, 3 or anything like that. That can be for another video. If the Canucks are 1, 2, 3, as I mentioned it right at the start, if they're number 1, I don't know how they don't pick Jack Hughes. As much as some people like Capo Caco more, I don't know how you do not pick Jack Hughes knowing that Quinn Hughes, his brother, is right here. It just, the optics would be horrible. And all the optics of them actually winning the lottery and picking him in Vancouver, the brothers reuniting, embracing. Maybe they even have Quinn come up and make the pick for them. Wouldn't that be cool? Dramatic music, videos galore, vlogs galore. I'm sure I'll write a song about it. That's what I could see happening. If they go number 2, then they're at the mercy of whoever number 1 picks. But it could be very interesting. Would they try to trade up to 1 or play that game of maybe they don't even have to move because, they're going to find out who number 1 is taking, whatever. And they have number 3, then that's really interesting. Do you try and trade up to 1 or 2 to get one of those 2 guys, or you go with the Russian forward? I can't even say his name right. Is it Podgolzin? I have it written down there. Podgolzin, a right winger, or do you take someone like a Bowen Byram that high to fill your need on D? Then we're not going to pick 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to pick 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've looked up a lot of lists, and I've starting to read some stuff. So if we know that Hughes, Kako, and Podkolzin are the top 3, and then I've seen a lot of ones saying that in the next 5 or 6 is guys like Bowen Byram. It's the USA guys, Zegras and Boldy and Turcotte. So all those guys are in there. Then there's Dylan Cousins, a Canadian guy in there, the center there. So there's a lot of, their only D-men though, of those guys are all forwards, only D-men is Bowen Byram. And then, yeah, around 9, 10, I've seen names like Cole Caulfield, the right winger. There's Kirby Datch. There's Peyton Krebs. And then, you know, a couple of Swedish demon that are getting some love that I've seen a lot recently and could help the Canucks, you know, are Soderstrom and Broberg. So I named out 10 or 11 guys there. I probably butchered half of their names. But I guess what I'm saying is when it's very hard to, it's a little easier when you know your 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a little easier to predict and project who you're going to get. But when you're picking as low as 9, 10, 11, 12, where the Canucks are going to pick, yeah, you have your list, obviously. You got to make your list of up to 12. But then how do you, you have to have all these contingency plans because you simply cannot predict what the 8 teams ahead of you are going to do. But all things being equal, you know, I think if you presume, let's say the Canucks stay at 9 and you presume that Hughes, Kako, the Russian guy, the 3 U.S. guys and Byram guy is gone, then maybe you're looking like a Caulfield, a Doc, a Krebs, a Soderstrom. So there's a lot of talent there. And I will going to do some research and start to learn more about these guys as we go forward. At 9 and 10, 11, 12, do you pick for need or do you pick best position? I think you best player or for a position. I think you pick the best player there when you're at 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's really interesting because you look at Quinn Hughes last year and he kind of fell to them, right? As soon as Arizona took Barrett Hayton at 5, then you knew it was either going to be Zadina or Hughes. So you basically took whoever Detroit didn't take. Detroit took Zadina. We got Hughes. There, you weren't saying, oh, I got to take a defenseman or a forward. You were taking, I'm going to take the best player because I think the Canucks would have taken, like I said, Zadina or Hughes. So that kind of speaks to this whole point of, I think the lower that you pick in the first round, you are picking for best player and not necessarily by position. Actually, now that I think about it, now that I say that, up top, and maybe it's easier this year because we know the top 3 are all forwards. So you can't really debate whether or not you're going to pick by position because you'd be stupid if you were in the top 3 and didn't pick one of those top 3 forwards. So I do think in general, you pick for best player overall and not by position or not to fill a need. You can fill that need through through free agency, through trades, through the way you extend contracts. But I think the Canucks, like any other year, will need to pick by best player available. And who knows who that's going to be. The Canucks kind of went off the board with Petterson in that not a lot of us knew about him. And that he's obviously being the best pick of that draft. So, it's going to be very interesting. We have 2.5 months to digest now who they could pick and whether or not they trade their pick. But it all starts with Tuesday's draft lottery with Jim Benning. I'd love to see what you guys think. Leave a comment on who you want them to take. And I know we're kind of like spitballing here because we have no clue, A, where the Canucks are going to pick, and B, who the Canucks, who is chosen before them. So I'll just kind of go through the comments here real quick before we go. Todd Stewart, Austin, the dream scenario. Craig Button has mentioned that this year's draft is fairly even. You are getting a good player regardless when you pick. Yeah, that's a great point, Hobby. Is that, and Broberg I had listed at number 12 or 13, the Swedish defenseman. But yeah, I think this is a really strong draft, and it's strong because it's quite even across, you take away Kako and Hughes, but it's still strong from 3 to 15, much like last year's was actually too. So we shall see. Patrick, we should trade in the top 5 if we don't win a lottery. Yeah, I'll end on that. There's a school of thought that says the Canucks will do something. I don't think they're going to lose any of their picks because they want to have picks by hosting the draft here in Vancouver. But what will be the positioning of those picks? And if they have a chance to move up in the top 5 by packaging players or not losing any picks, quantity of picks, volume of picks, then maybe it's worth doing because the Canucks will want to obviously do really well in front of their home fans at the draft and create some sort of buzz, as long as it's not a silly buzz. All right, let's wind up. Arjun, I trust Benning to draft a good player for us. Yes, I agree. Carmen, we should try to draft someone new. Try someone new to represent the Canucks at the draft. Well, Carmen, I said I should go. I'd be happy to go. I could write a song for them. And I went 4 for 4 in my year-end awards. Not that it was rocket science, but I predicted Roussel as unsung hero, Edler as best defenseman, Markstrom as MVP, and Pettersson as most exciting player. I'm sure a lot of people got those right. But I would be happy to represent the Vancouver Canucks at the draft lottery. Who else would you want besides the founder of the GLCPC there? But we'll see. All right, Clement, thank you for the great commentary. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Clement, same to you. Thank you. Alan, are you going to live stream the draft lottery? I would love to, Alan. I'd love to do a reaction video, but I will be speaking that night actually at Vancouver College to the parents there. So I'll be able to watch the draft lottery when it happens and then bolt over to the school to do my talk. And who will be drafted number 3 in the draft? We'll just wind up Van Wonka. You know, I can't say his name, but Vasily Podkolzin looks like he might. I sound so stupid when I say his name. It's like I don't know anything about hockey, but just because I can't pronounce the name doesn't mean I don't know about him. Right winger from Russia. But there's questions of whether or not he's even going to sign. I think he will sign, but you know, third overall draft pick, we'll see. Quinn Hughes, more like Quinn Hughes, very good. Thank you, Dexter. That's the mic drop right there. Christopher, the hockey guy, live streams the draft lottery. There you go. So you can watch the hockey guy live stream the draft lottery. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. For those of you that stuck through for this entire hour, thank you. God bless you. You're a champion. For those of you that are just here at the end, that's awesome. For those of you that are watching this on replay, that's fine too. I really want to thank you for spending your time, your Saturday afternoon with me. I want to thank all of you sincerely for helping me grow my channel. And for me, honestly, it's not about the growth. It's not about the views. It's not about the subscribers. It's not about the likes. It's about me being a Canucks fan, not trying to sound smarter than I am, but being a Canucks fan who's blessed to be a season ticket holder, gets to go to games. I understand the game. I played the game, not at a high level, but I played. And I know I like to bring you my insight from being optimistic, from being positive, from not being a jerk, basically, from being a good-looking Canucks Positivity Club founder, and from being able to be at the game and enjoy my time at the arena. So thanks once again. If you want, you can like this video. If you want, you can subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I will check in with some live streams throughout the year, throughout the off season, but I will definitely be doing my daily updates still, whether it's free agent talk, playoff talk, draft talk, contract talk, summer showdown talk, training camp talk, whatever it be. If I'm in town, in Vancouver, in Richmond, I'll be doing daily videos for sure. So thanks once again. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. I'll come back with a couple of videos over the next couple of days and looking at the Canucks season, looking back at the Canucks season, looking ahead to their off season, and even talking about some of my playoff predictions as well. Okay, thanks again.